Hi friends, it's Jeanette again, and this time I'm going to lead you through a leg stretching sequence that will help. It'll help you fall asleep at night. It'll also be really good for just stretching your legs after working out, after a walk, which I highly recommend. And also stretching the legs helps you down-regulate your nervous system, helps you relax. So this is an update to a video I filmed 3 years ago. Many people have told me that that video was very helpful, but I see some room for improvement, so I'm going to add a few extras. It won't take too long. Let's get started. If you find this video helpful, please click the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in receiving videos about how to manage your stress and how to regulate your nervous system with somatics. So this sequence can be done with a yoga strap, right? But I don't want to tell you have to go out and buy things. So I wanted to demonstrate doing it with my bathrobe strap. A belt will work. Get creative. I've done this using towels. Whatever you have around that works is great. And we're going to start laying down on the back. So sometimes people like to have a little blanket under their head, either for softness or just because of neck comfort. So make yourself comfortable. That's the number one important thing. And then we're going to just rest on the floor for a moment with the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. I want you to just take a big breath. And then slow exhale. This is how we land. We're just going to land softly in this body like a feather on a pond. Okay, and now we're going to get busy stretching those legs. So take your strap, your bathrobe tie, whatever, put it around the ball of your right foot. Now this part's important. I always see people putting the strap here. This is not the ball of the foot, this is the arch of the foot. The ball of the foot is where the toe knuckles are, where the toes are meeting the foot. And there's a mound of flesh there. This is going to make it easier for you to control your leg and your foot and your stretch. So with that properly placed, one end of the strap in each hand, I want you to just let the leg come in and out a few times. This is testing it out, right? We're going to test drive the car before we buy it. Just take a little test. How tight am I today? How loose am I? And how much can I straighten my knee, right? Ideally, we want to be able to straighten the knee completely like this and pull the toes back, right? But if you're pretty tight, you might be all the way back here in order to straighten out the knee. So we need to find a balance. If you need to bend it a little bit in order to get the leg up, that's fine. Just want to make sure you are feeling the stretch all the way down the back of the leg from the ankle to the hip, okay? So now we're just going to hold the stretch. And while you're stretching, it's really helpful to actively pull back your toes. Actively pull the top of your foot towards your shin. This is called dorsiflexion. And it really adds, and I'm sure you're feeling that right now. It really adds to the stretch. So when you're doing this on your own, you can hold these stretches for up to a full minute, minute and a half, as long as they're moderate, right? The longer you hold the stretch, the more moderate you want it to be. For now, I'm only going to be holding these about 30 seconds each, just so that this video doesn't get super long. And now, the second part of this stretch is we're going to stretch the inner thigh. So I want you to take both ends of the strap in your right hand, please. Keep that elbow bent. Keep pulling the top of the foot towards the shin, and then let your legs open. Both legs open, right? So this left leg is going to act like a counterbalance so you don't fall over. And I'm actually too close to the wall here, so I'm going to scoot over. Traditionally, like in a yoga studio, people will teach you to do it like this with the leg out. This is fine if you can do that and keep yourself grounded through that left hip and keep yourself from tipping over. For back injuries, I really like doing it this way with the knee bent. It's just softer, easier, and it still gets the job done, okay? So here we're holding, I've got my right elbow on the floor, the elbow's bent, the hand is grasping that strap really well. And then we're going to switch. So let's bring that leg back to the center line, both legs back to the center line. Now here's something to pay attention to. I'm going to take this leg, my right leg, across the center line of the body. And most of the time when I teach this, people want to do this, okay? And that's a twist, and it feels good, and it is a yoga move, but that's not what we're doing right now. We're trying to get a big stretch on the outer thigh, and so we're being really specific about what we're trying to do. So we're going to keep those toes pulled back. We're going to keep the right hip pinned down to the floor. That hip should not come up off the floor as we bring the right leg across the center line. Now, I'm a very flexible person. I'm feeling a really big stretch right now. You don't have to go very far to get this stretch, right? I'm feeling it all the way from my ankle up to my hip. Yeah. So we can hold this. And the more you pull your toes in, the more you feel it. Again, another thing that will change the way you feel in this stretch is how far away from your body your leg is, right? So if my leg was all the way out here, I wouldn't be feeling any stretch. I have to bring it all the way up here, but with the leg here, like I said, I don't have to go very far to the side to find the big stretch that I'm looking for. And now we're done with that leg, so we'll take the strap off. And I want you to put both legs on the floor for a second. And I just want to invite you to relax completely and then notice what the right side feels like and what the left side feels like. Does one side feel longer or shorter, harder, softer? There's no right or wrong answer. Simply observing is a really powerful neurological tool. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and stretch the other leg, the left leg. I'm going to move onto my mat again. We'll take that strap, we'll put it around the ball of the foot. Okay. Again, I've got my knee bent here. This whole sequence can be done with opposite leg flat on the floor. It's just a little more work. Why do more work if you don't have to? Especially if we're just trying to relax right now. You know what I mean? Okay, so we've got the leg and we're going to bring it in and out a few times. How tight am I? How stiff am I? How loose am I? Is there any pain with this? We always want to stay off of pain. We don't go into or through it. And then when you feel like you can find your nice stretch, stay there. And the knee. How bent do I need to make my knee to get into this? So this is something that if you do the stretch really often, like 3 or 4 times a week, you'll notice you'll be able to straighten your knee more. And that's a sign that your body's changing. Okay. Just a few more breaths here. Okay, now we can take both ends of the strap into the left hand. I'm really loving this bathrobe tie, actually. It's really soft and it's easy to grip. I think I might start using this instead of a yoga strap. All right, we'll take the left leg over to the left, opening the right leg out at the same time. So we've got my wonderful little socks there for you to look at. I hope you like them. Again, pulling the toes up towards the shin, dorsiflexing, really gonna help. And when I'm doing these stretches, usually it's after a workout or before bed. I'll hold them for a good 1.5 to 2 minutes. You know, I've been doing this for a long time though, so if you feel like that's too much, maybe let it be something you gradually work your way up to. Let's bring the knees back together again. And here comes the cross body leg stretch. So we'll take both ends of the strap in the right hand, left leg, right hand. Knee is straight, toes are pulled back, leg is in towards your body as much as you can tolerate, and then we'll take the leg over. Whew, this one's tighter than the other one. Okay, so that's normal. There's always the right feeling different from the left. That's a thing with every body I've ever encountered, so we don't have to make a big deal out of it. We don't have to analyze it. Just let it be what it is. Something else that helps if you want to make this stretch a little bit more, you can take your left hand, slide your thumb into the crease where the leg meets the body, and then push that hip away. So you're pulling your foot towards you as you're pushing your hip away. Yeah. It adds a whole other character to this, to this stretch. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring that back, okay? And we're taking the straps off. Let's lower the left leg, straighten out the right leg, and compare again. Maybe the two sides feel a little closer to the same than they did last time we checked, or maybe they still feel vastly different. Doesn't matter what you find, just find, just be aware of what you're feeling. And then we're going to go into a hip stretch. So let's bend both knees. We can cross the right lower leg over the thigh. So don't put the ankle right on the thigh bone. We want to scoot it over a little so you've got bone on bone, not joint on bone. All right, so if you're really tight, you can get a great stretch just by pushing your right leg away from you like this. And if that's not enough for you to feel a good stretch, another way you could do this is grab your foot. So grabbing right foot with left hand and right hand on right knee, pulling the leg in. Try to keep your shin across from your body as much as possible instead of letting it do this. See how I'm pulling the knee in? We want to pull the knee and the foot in equally if we're doing it this way. And then there's yet another option, which is bringing both legs in. I only want you to do this one if you can do it without your head coming off the floor. So no judgment here, just want you to protect your neck. And so while we're holding this, it is nice sometimes to go side to side. So you can try doing that. Another time I do this whole sequence, if I've been on a road trip, the body gets really tight on a road trip. When I get out of the car, I'll just do my leg stretches and it feels so much better. Okay, so now we're going to put that foot down on the floor. Left foot on the floor, right foot on the floor. Whew. Compare the right hip to the left hip for a second. And now we can stretch the left side. Again, crossing left over right. This is like a supported pigeon pose, but you could also call it figure 4 stretch. We're going to try pushing the left leg away. If that's not enough stretch, you can either pull the left leg in towards you with one hand on the foot and one hand on the knee, or you can pull both legs in towards you like this. Again, only if you can get your hands around that knee without your head coming off the floor. Rocking side to side or resting in stillness, that's a choice you get to make here. Just try to relax whatever you're doing. A stretch should never be so intense that you can't relax. If it's impossible to relax, or you find your breath becoming rapid and shallow, these are signs that it's too much. You know, we want to be gentler than that. And the whole point of yoga is to be able to relax and find that stillness within. So let's let the yoga practice be soft. All right, now let's put right foot down, left foot down. Stretch the legs out again. You can bring your arms up overhead and do a full body stretch. That really feels good after all this time we've been bringing the legs in. And now here's a stretch that I did not include in my previous leg stretching video, and it's actually really important. We've stretched everything around the legs and hips except for the fronts of the thighs, the quad muscles and the TFLs. And so with this next move, we're going to stretch those. We're also going to be able to stretch the psoas muscles a little bit. So first of all, we need to take the feet wide, about as wide as the mat, and bring the feet in close to the body. Maybe you'll be able to touch them with your fingers, maybe not. That depends on lots of different things, but you know, that part isn't really important. Just bring the feet in as close as you can comfortably without causing any pain. And then we're going to let the legs go side to side a few times, just like this. Again, we're testing the water before we dive in, just making sure the movement feels okay. This is windshield wiper movement, right? It's kind of different from a typical windshield wiper. Basically, we're just rotating the hips. Pretty easy. Now, here's where it's going to get a little bit more. Let your left hip internally rotate. The knee will come in and down towards the floor. And I want you to engage the glute there on your left side. Squeeze your glute muscle and then reach actively through your left knee towards the wall or towards the bottom of your mat. So the whole left side of your back might come up off the floor. You're going to be reaching really long. You could even bring your left arm up overhead and reach for the wall behind you. And now you're stretching your body in two completely different directions, making your whole self very long. I'm sorry if you're hearing some weird stuff. I have to adjust my microphone. There, that should do it. Okay. So we're reaching in two different directions, really lengthening out this whole area. And then we can come out of that and do the other side. So this time the right hip internally rotates, right knee comes in towards the center line and down towards the floor. We're going to engage the right butt muscles, reach through the thigh for the bottom of the mat, like we're pushing the right side of your hip forward, and then reach overhead with your right arm. Good. I like to do this one a couple times. So we'll do the left side again. That's my relaxation sound. I've been doing this so long I don't even care about sounding like a dork anymore. I just make all my relaxation sounds for you. All right, let's come back to center. We'll do the right side again and then we'll be done. Okay, we'll bring the knees back to center. We'll bring the arm down. Maybe one more full body stretch before we get up. Wiggle, wiggle. All right. So I'm going to sit up. You can stay right where you are if you want to. And I just want to thank you for joining me for leg stretches. If you found this to be helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm always posting about how you can regulate your nervous system, how you can manage stress with somatics. I hope the rest of your day is really fantastic. Namaste.